The golden age of Hollywood is often painted in shimmering lights and timeless glamour, where stars seemed untouchable and their stories were spun like fairy tales. Yet behind the polished facade, some of Tinseltown's brightest icons guarded dark secrets, battled personal demons, or courted scandal that would shock the world. In this episode, we peel back the curtain on a parade of legendary names, icons whose raw talent, fame, and influence were matched only by the controversies that haunted them. From clandestine affairs and bitter rivalries to ruthless ambition and turbulent private lives, these figures show that even in the brightest spotlight, shadows still lurk. But beneath it all, we can't help but ask, is John Wayne truly a bad man?
No, sir. No, sir, I ain't.
John Wayne. John Wayne, the quintessential cowboy of Hollywood's golden age, was as famous for his larger-than-life roles as he was for his unapologetically bold opinions. Wayne was a staunch conservative, and his political beliefs often placed him at odds with others in the industry. He wasn't afraid to voice his disdain for liberal ideologies, which alienated co-stars and created a reputation as one of the most divisive figures in Hollywood. One of Wayne's most infamous feuds was with fellow actor Clark Gable. During the filming of John Ford's Mogambo in 1953, tension between the two escalated due to their differing worldviews and Gable's disdain for Wayne's brash personality. Gable, celebrated for his charm and professionalism, reportedly found Wayne's comments and attitude insufferable. The animosity spilled over into personal remarks, with Wayne allegedly calling Gable an idiot and undermining his acting abilities, despite Gable's reputation as one of Hollywood's greatest leading men. Wayne's political opinions extended beyond Hollywood, often sparking national debates. He publicly supported the Vietnam War and was an outspoken critic of the civil rights movement, which earned him both praise and condemnation. His 1971 Playboy interview cemented his controversial legacy as he made inflammatory remarks about race and politics that continue to haunt his reputation. Though Wayne was beloved by many for his rugged on-screen persona, his off-screen actions reveal a more complex figure. Was he a man standing firm in his beliefs, or someone blinded by his own worldview? Either way, John Wayne's legacy is one of Hollywood's most polarizing, proof that even legends aren't immune to controversy. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin's iconic mustache and comedic brilliance made him a household name, but his personal life was far less wholesome than the lovable drifter he portrayed on screen. Chaplin's relationships were riddled with scandal, particularly his obsession with significantly younger women. At the age of 29, Chaplin married his first wife, Mildred Harris, who was just 16. The marriage was short-lived, but it set the tone for the controversial relationships that followed. Chaplin's second marriage was even more shocking. He became romantically involved with another teenager, Leda Gray, when she was just 15. To avoid criminal charges for their relationship, Chaplin quickly married her after discovering she was pregnant. The union was tumultuous, ending in a bitter divorce filled with allegations of infidelity and emotional abuse. Gray accused Chaplin of being controlling, manipulative, and obsessed with perfection, traits that bled into both his professional and personal life. But it didn't stop there. At 50 years old, Chaplin married Una O'Neill, the 18-year-old daughter of playwright Eugene O'Neill. While their marriage lasted until Chaplin's death, it raised eyebrows worldwide. Critics questioned whether his fascination with much younger women was a pursuit of youth or something more disturbing. Despite these controversies, Chaplin's professional legacy as a pioneer in filmmaking remains. His personal life, however, casts a shadow over his genius, forcing us to grapple with the complexities of a man who shaped the industry but lived a life steeped in scandal. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford dazzled audiences with her beauty and captivating performances, becoming one of the most celebrated actresses of Hollywood's golden age. But behind her glamorous public persona lay a much darker, more complex reality. For decades, the star managed to maintain the image of a devoted mother in Hollywood royalty. However, the release of her daughter, Christina Crawford's shocking memoir, Mommy Dearest, shattered that illusion forever. Christina's account revealed the chilling reality of growing up with Crawford as a mother. She described Joan as a tyrant who ruled their household with an iron fist, demanding perfection at all costs. According to Christina, even minor infractions were met with extreme punishments. One of the most infamous incidents described in the book involved Joan's violent outburst over wire hangers, which became a symbol of her obsessive and abusive behavior. This scene, immortalized in the film adaptation of Mommy Dearest, painted Joan as a perfectionist whose rage was as terrifying as it was unpredictable. Crawford's alleged abuse didn't stop at physical punishments. Christina also recounted episodes of emotional manipulation, coldness, and control. Crawford reportedly used her children as props to bolster her public image, orchestrating photo shoots that presented a picture-perfect family while privately treating them with cruelty and disdain. Christina's younger brother, Christopher, echoed these claims, further tarnishing Joan's legacy. The revelations in Mommy Dearest shocked Hollywood and the world, raising questions about the pressures of fame and the toll it took on Crawford's psyche. Friends and colleagues were divided. Some dismissed the memoir as a bitter exaggeration, while others acknowledged that Crawford's perfectionism and intense personality could have veered into darker territory. Still, Joan Crawford's on-screen achievements remain legendary. With a career spanning 5 decades, she starred in iconic films like Mildred Pierce, which earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress in 1946. Her work ethic and determination to stay relevant in an industry that often discarded women of a certain age made her a trailblazer. But these same traits may have contributed to the struggles and complexities of her personal life. Ultimately, Joan Crawford's legacy is one of contrasts, a celebrated actress whose public life embodied glamour and success, and a private life overshadowed by the chilling allegations of her children. Was she a victim of Hollywood's relentless pressures, or was the dark side of her personality always there? Either way, the truth about Joan Crawford remains as captivating and unsettling as the roles she played on screen. Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis was one of Hollywood's most beloved comedians, celebrated for his slapstick humor and groundbreaking work alongside Dean Martin. But behind the laughter was a man plagued by personal demons and a legacy tainted by controversy. His tireless efforts for the Muscular Dystrophy Association raised billions and earned him widespread admiration. Yet his private life was far from heroic. Lewis's struggles with addiction were an open secret in Hollywood. He battled a long-standing dependency on painkillers after a debilitating back injury during a comedic stunt in the 1960s. The physical pain seemed to mirror the emotional turmoil brewing within him. His personal relationships were no less complicated, especially his strained bond with his children. His youngest son, Joseph, publicly accused Lewis of emotional and physical abuse, painting a picture of a father who was controlling and cruel behind closed doors. Tragically, Joseph's life ended in a fatal overdose, and Lewis's absence at his funeral spoke volumes about the fractured nature of their relationship. The darker side of Lewis extended beyond his family. Allegations of mistreatment toward colleagues and inappropriate behavior surfaced over the years, casting a shadow on his public persona. Despite his comedic brilliance, Lewis's actions off-screen often drew criticism. He had a reputation for being temperamental, egotistical, and difficult to work with, alienating many in the industry who once admired him. Still, his contributions to comedy cannot be ignored. His influence on future comedians, from Jim Carrey to Robin Williams, is undeniable. Lewis's innovative techniques in directing and performing cemented his place as a legend, even as his personal life remained a troubling contradiction. Jerry Lewis was a man who made millions laugh while battling inner turmoil, a reminder that even the brightest stars often hide the deepest shadows. James Dean. James Dean's name is synonymous with rebellion and raw talent, but his off-screen behavior left a much more divisive legacy. While his performances in Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden, and Giant cemented his place as one of Hollywood's most iconic actors, his short life was marked by moodiness, arrogance, and a troubling disregard for professionalism. Co-stars and directors often describe Dean as difficult to work with. On the set of Giant, legendary actor Rock Hudson recalled Dean's sulky demeanor and lack of manners. Dean's tendency to improvise without warning frustrated his fellow actors, as his spontaneous decisions frequently disrupted carefully planned scenes. Broadway wasn't spared from his antics either. His brief appearances on the stage were riddled with tales of uncooperativeness and erratic behavior. A press agent for one of his productions famously called him the most offensive actor I've ever worked with. Despite these accounts, Dean's mysterious allure and undeniable talent kept him in the good graces of Hollywood. His brooding intensity and rebellious image resonated deeply with a generation of youth searching for their identity in the post-war world. His tragic death at the age of 24 in a high-speed car accident only amplified his mythos, turning him into a cultural icon of unfulfilled potential. However, the stories of Dean's behavior raise questions about the man behind the legend. Was his surly demeanor the result of insecurity and pressure, or was it simply who he was? The truth may never be fully known. James Dean remains a figure of both admiration and controversy, a symbol of rebellion whose personal life was as turbulent as the characters he portrayed. Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball is remembered as the trailblazing queen of comedy, whose groundbreaking sitcom, I Love Lucy, revolutionized television and made her one of the most beloved figures in entertainment history. Her impeccable timing, innovative storytelling, and fearless approach to comedy turned her into a cultural icon. But behind the laughter, Ball was a force to be reckoned with, a woman who demanded perfection on set, often earning her a reputation as difficult to work with. Ball's meticulous nature often clashed with colleagues and crew members. She was known for her intense focus on getting every detail right, from comedic timing to set design. Some co-stars described her as tough and unyielding, with little patience for mistakes. Tony Randall, who guest starred on her show Here's Lucy, once remarked, "She bossed everybody around and didn't spare anyone's feelings." Yet Randall also admitted that Ball's brilliance made it hard to hold a grudge. "She was always right," he said. "She knew exactly what she wanted and she was determined to make the best show possible." Her perfectionism extended beyond the stage. As the first woman to run a major television studio, Desilu Productions, Ball oversaw iconic shows like Star Trek and Mission Impossible. She broke barriers in a male-dominated industry, proving that women could lead both in front of and behind the camera. But the pressures of maintaining her empire took a toll. Ball's intense work ethic sometimes alienated those closest to her, and her demanding nature on set was seen by some as a double standard, criticism often reserved for women in power. Despite the occasional tension, Ball's legacy remains untarnished. Her work ethic and innovation redefined comedy and opened doors for generations of performers. Lucille Ball was more than a funny woman. She was a visionary, and her toughness was a testament to her commitment to excellence. In the end, her determination ensured her place as one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor's life was a whirlwind of romance, scandal, and stardom, earning her a reputation as one of the most captivating figures in Hollywood history. While her talent and beauty lit up the silver screen, it was her personal life that often dominated headlines. Nowhere was this more apparent than in the infamous love triangle involving Taylor, her best friend Debbie Reynolds, and singer Eddie Fisher. In the late 1950s, Taylor's life took a tragic turn when her third husband, producer Mike Todd, died in a plane crash. Stricken with grief, she turned to Eddie Fisher, Todd's best friend and Reynolds' husband, for comfort. What began as solace soon turned into an affair that rocked Hollywood. The scandal made headlines across the globe, with many labeling Taylor a homewrecker. Fisher eventually left Reynolds for Taylor, but the fallout was swift and severe. Fisher's career, once thriving, crumbled as the studios and fans turned against him. Taylor, however, seemed to thrive in the chaos, solidifying her reputation as a star who lived life unapologetically on her own terms. The drama didn't end there. Taylor and Fisher's marriage lasted only 5 years, undone by another tempestuous romance. While filming Cleopatra, Taylor fell for her co-star, Richard Burton, igniting one of Hollywood's most notorious love affairs. Their relationship, filled with passion and volatility, led to 2 marriages and divorces, becoming a defining chapter in Taylor's storied life. Despite the scandals, Taylor and Reynolds eventually reconciled, proving that even the deepest wounds could heal. Reynolds later reflected on their friendship, saying, "Elizabeth was a survivor, just like me." Their ability to move past the betrayal underscored the resilience of 2 women navigating the challenges of fame and love in the spotlight. Elizabeth Taylor's life was a series of bold choices, passionate relationships, and dazzling performances. She was a woman who defied societal expectations, living unapologetically in pursuit of love and happiness. While the controversies surrounding her often overshadowed her talent, Taylor's legacy as both a screen icon and a symbol of resilience endures. Bette Davis. Bette Davis was a force unlike any other in Hollywood. Known for her piercing eyes and fiery performances, she refused to conform to the expectations of women in the entertainment industry. Davis's relentless pursuit of excellence made her one of the most respected actresses of her time, but it also earned her a reputation for being difficult and, at times, ruthless. Her ambition was shaped early on by a strained relationship with her father, Harlow Davis, a strict and emotionally distant man. In her memoir, The Lonely Life, Davis recounted a pivotal moment from her childhood when her father pointed to the stars and told her, "There are millions of them, and you are just one. Always remember how unimportant you are." This stark lesson lit a fire in her, driving her to prove her worth to herself and the world. This relentless drive often put her at odds with the male-dominated studio system. Davis famously fought Warner Brothers in the 1930s, suing the studio for better roles and creative freedom. Although she lost the case, her defiance set a precedent for artists demanding control over their careers. Her battles didn't stop there. She had a decades-long rivalry with Joan Crawford, one of Hollywood's other leading ladies. Their feud reached a boiling point during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, with stories of on-set sabotage and venomous insults that captivated the press and cemented their status as Hollywood's most famous enemies. Davis's perfectionism extended to every aspect of her work. She was notorious for pushing directors, co-stars, and crew members to meet her high standards. But while some admired her determination, others found her intimidating. In her later years, she reflected on her reputation, saying, "I was the first woman to demand equal treatment in Hollywood, and I got it, but not without a fight." Despite her sharp edges, Davis's legacy is unparalleled. With 2 Academy Awards and dozens of iconic performances, she became a symbol of resilience and independence. Bette Davis was more than an actress. She was a trailblazer who redefined what it meant to be a woman in Hollywood. Her story is one of triumph and struggle, proving that greatness often comes at a cost. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando was a titan of 20th century cinema. His performances in A Streetcar Named Desire, On the Waterfront, and The Godfather setting new standards for acting. Brando's talent was undeniable, but his personal life was marked by turmoil, controversy, and a string of broken relationships that painted a darker picture of the man behind the legend. Brando's romantic life was tumultuous, to say the least. He fathered at least 11 children with multiple women, but his relationships were often riddled with conflict. Rita Moreno, who had a nearly decade-long affair with Brando, described their relationship as intoxicating but toxic. Moreno revealed that Brando's infidelity and manipulative behavior pushed her to the brink of despair. In a heartbreaking admission, she revealed that she once tried to end her life during their relationship, a stark reminder of the emotional toll Brando could inflict. His troubling behavior wasn't confined to his personal relationships. During the filming of Last Tango in Paris, co-star Maria Schneider revealed that Brando and director Bernardo Bertolucci orchestrated scenes without her consent, leaving her feeling humiliated and violated. The revelations sparked outrage and cast a shadow over Brando's legacy, raising serious questions about power dynamics in Hollywood. Yet Brando's complexities extended beyond his flaws. He was a vocal advocate for civil rights, using his platform to support marginalized communities. His decision to decline the Academy Award for The Godfather in protest of Hollywood's treatment of Native Americans was a bold statement that resonated far beyond the film industry. Brando's activism highlighted a deeply empathetic side of him, even as his personal actions often contradicted the ideals he championed. Marlon Brando remains a paradox. A man whose brilliance on screen was matched by his chaotic and sometimes destructive behavior off it. His life serves as a reminder that even the greatest talents can harbor profound contradictions. Was he a genius, a flawed human being, or both? Perhaps that's why his legacy continues to fascinate decades after his death. Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart, the face of Hollywood's golden age, became immortalized through his unforgettable role as Rick Blaine in Casablanca. With his gruff demeanor and undeniable charm, Bogart epitomized the brooding anti-hero, captivating audiences around the globe. But behind his on-screen brilliance was a deeply complicated man grappling with personal struggles that mirrored the darker aspects of his characters. During the production of Casablanca, Bogart was at a low point in his personal life. His third marriage to actress Mayo Method was crumbling under the weight of mutual alcoholism and explosive arguments. The couple was famously nicknamed the Battling Bogarts due to their fiery and often public confrontations. Method's jealousy over Bogart's interactions with co-stars created constant tension, and their fights were rumored to have disrupted filming on several occasions. Ultimately, the toxic relationship would end in divorce, with Bogart moving on to marry his much younger co-star, Lauren Bacall. Bogart's struggles with alcohol were not limited to his marriage. His heavy drinking became a hallmark of his off-screen life, often affecting his mood and interactions with others. On the set of Casablanca, co-star Ingrid Bergman tried to bond with Bogart by inviting him to dinners, but he largely kept to himself, choosing instead to play chess or drink alone. These solitary habits fueled his enigmatic persona, but also hinted at the isolation and inner turmoil he carried. His professional life during this time was no less chaotic. The script for Casablanca was famously unfinished during filming, and Bogart, known for his sharp wit, reportedly clashed with director Michael Curtis over the film's direction. Despite the tension, Bogart's portrayal of Rick Blaine resonated deeply with audiences, embodying a mix of cynicism, vulnerability, and reluctant heroism that would define his legacy. Bogart's fourth marriage to Lauren Bacall marked a turning point in his personal life. The two met while filming To Have and Have Not, and their undeniable chemistry blossomed into one of Hollywood's most iconic romances. 25 years younger than Bogart, Bacall brought stability to his later years, and their love story enchanted fans around the world. However, his heavy drinking and health issues, including esophageal cancer, continued to plague him until his death in 1957 at the age of 57. Humphrey Bogart remains a towering figure in cinema, celebrated for his rugged charm and magnetic performances. But his life off-screen was far from perfect, marked by tumultuous relationships, addiction, and inner conflict. His ability to channel these struggles into his characters only deepened his impact on audiences, leaving a legacy that endures to this day. Was he the tough, world-weary figure he portrayed, or sensitive soul searching for peace in a turbulent world? Perhaps the answer lies somewhere in between. These stars built legacies that continue to inspire, but their lives remind us that fame often comes with a darker side. Are their flaws a product of the pressures of stardom, or should we demand better from those we idolize? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Hollywood's hidden truths. Until next time, stay curious.